Hi Leo, welcome to October. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. Before I start your reading, I'm going to call in some good energy. Okay, so this month we have a full moon in Aries on October 1st, and that's favorable to your sign. And then we have a new moon in Libra on the 16th. And in the meanwhile, Pluto goes direct on the 4th, and Mercury goes retrograde on the 13th of October, and it will be retrograde until November 3rd. So let's see, we'll get into the astrology later. Let's see what's on the horizon for Leo. What does Leo need to know about love and relationships? What does Leo need to know about love and relationships for October 2020? What does Leo need to know about love and relationships for October 2020? The Six of Swords, the King of Wands, the Six of Cups, the Temperance, the Hierophant, the Ten of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the King of Swords, the Tower, the Strength card. So, the Six of Swords, this is a card of moving away from difficulty and sorrow, moving on to something better or to greater harmony. So if you're involved in a difficult situation at the beginning of the month, I feel like you're going to figure out a way to negotiate something in a relationship to create greater harmony. Now the King of Wands is crossing this, so you could be dealing with this could be your energy as the Leo, but it could also be that you're dealing with someone who is like the King of Wands, who's a good leader, someone who's very outspoken, not afraid to speak their mind, a good mentor. So maybe you're getting advice from someone whose opinion you respect, or someone's guiding you. This person could be a little bit bossy at times, but they have a big heart. And when I see the King of Wands, I always think of a Leo, because I think that's the energy of the King of Wands is very much like a Leo. You know, very confident and outspoken, but willing to help. It's just that sometimes his energy could be a little bit over the top at times. So some people may feel that it's just too much. So you may want to tone it down a little bit. If you're trying to help someone, don't come on too strong. Let them find their way. Give advice, but don't force it. So you have the Six of Cups here. This is a card of healing from the past, and also learning lessons from the past so that you don't repeat them in the future. But it's also a card of connecting with people from the past. So maybe there's a part of you that wants to reconnect with someone this month. But you're going to have to compromise, because you have the Temperance card here. So you can't always get everything your way. You may have to meet someone halfway. So if you're sitting home waiting for someone to call you, that's not going to happen. You have to kind of reach out too. This is about, because this Temperance card is about balance, finding the middle ground. It's also about feeling guided spiritually, because the Temperance relates to the Archangel Michael. So you might be feeling intuitively like, I need to reach out to someone, or I need to connect with someone who's very different. I feel like if you're connecting with someone, they're very different than you, but at the same time you're compatible. It's like you balance each other out. And you're going to have to find that win-win situation, that middle ground where you're compromising. It can't always be your way. That's one of the lessons. Maybe that's one of the lessons that you're learning from the Six of Cups. That you can't just come in and be the boss and expect everyone to just do everything your way. That you're learning how to compromise. You're learning how to see things from another person's perspective, or take another person's feelings into account. You have the Hierophant here. You could be dealing with someone who's very stubborn. Either you're the stubborn person or the person that you're dealing with. So that's why you want to kind of not come on too strong, because sometimes if you're dealing with a stubborn person and you try to force them, they get even more stubborn. The other thing that the Hierophant is, it's a card of wisdom, sharing your wisdom. And it's a card of commitment and doing the right thing. So you may be feeling like you want to commit to something. Because the Hierophant is conservative energy. You might be dealing with someone who's very conservative or very set in their ways. They have strong beliefs and they're not open to change. And you have to like really stretch to deal with them, because they can be a little rigid at times. But coming in the near future, you have this Ten of Pentacles. That's a card of, wealth and security, like a home that is like an abundance. It's not just having a happy home, it's having a secure home, financially secure. You feel safe, you feel like someone has your back, or someone is there for you. So this is coming up. If you're not experiencing this right now at the beginning of the month, you will. It's something that it's potential for the future. But it's going to involve communication and compromise. If you want to achieve this relationship where the two of you are creating a happy home together, and one where you're joining your resources to create security, you're going to have to change the way you approach negotiations or relationships, where you're more open to compromise, more open to seeing things from another person's perspective. You have the Seven of Wands here in your fear sector. This is about standing your ground, fighting for what you believe in, against all odds. So you might be up against competition in a relationship, but you have the upper hand. So if you're interested in someone and there are other people around, you're the favored person. You're the person that could win out over the competition. Another meaning of this card is standing up for what you believe in, not letting people bully you, and setting some boundaries. So maybe you need to set boundaries in a relationship. In your environment, you have the King of Swords and the Tower. So there could be some kind of legal thing that comes up, or some kind of, you're doing a lot of thinking. You might be dealing with this King of Swords energy. This could be a lawyer. It could be someone who is a good communicator, someone who is hard to read, hard to approach. Maybe they have this wall up, or they're all in their head and they're not in their heart. It's kind of like these two people are very opposite, because the King of Wands is all about being theatrical, showing their emotions, communicating their feelings. And the King of Swords is the exact opposite. You can't get any kind of rise out of them. They don't show their emotions. They're very logical. So you could be connecting with someone that's it's like your opposite, or very different than you. Could be an air sign even. Maybe you're wanting to reconnect with a friend that's an air sign. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. The Tower, though, is you're coming into a period of major change, where it's like a wake-up call. Maybe you find some information out about this person and it shocks you. Or maybe you get a communication from this person and it shocks you. But you feel like you're going through a period of major change where things are crumbling so that they can be rebuilt in a better direction. And you have the Strength card here. This is a card of controlling your emotions, learning how to deal with anger, issues around anger, going maybe some counseling even. So there could be, if there's a relationship issue where you're feeling oppressed or you're feeling frustrated, which is entirely possible with Mars retrograde now, it's squaring Saturn and Pluto. Everyone is feeling, it's like you want to get things done, you want to do things, but you feel blocked, or you don't have the energy, or you feel like everything's a struggle. You're fighting with people left and right just to get anything done. This is a card that says, don't let your anger get the best of you. Don't let people push your buttons where you overreact. This is a card of, it's like psychological. You might have some psychological issues or some anger issues that need to be talked about, maybe with counseling. And if it's not you, then it could be that you're dealing with someone who has that issue. If it's a relationship, counseling would help create greater harmony, talking things over, coming to terms, like learning how to get your needs met. I feel like the success of your relationships depends on learning how to get your needs met without resorting to anger and temper tantrums, without going to extremes of emotion. Learning how to be kind and calm, like learning that conflict resolution doesn't have to be ugly. You know, you can have a disagreement with someone and you can talk it out and reason with them. You don't have to, hurl all kinds of names and cuss words, Because a lot of times when people get frustrated in an argument, they get angry and then they just start throwing the names out. You're just a blah, 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 blah. And you just go over the top and you just overreact. So that's the key this month. Learning how not to overreact. Waking up and realizing what you need to do, that you may need to make some major changes in your life and in your approach to relationships and your dealing and your approach to anger or people who push your buttons. You may have some kind of wound that needs to be healed. And there's someone here who's wanting to help you heal. Here's this girl. She's with the lion. And she's pulling the thorn out of his paw. So there's someone in your life that's there for you, that's going to help you recover or, get through a difficult time. So don't be stubborn if it's you that's being stubborn. And learn how to compromise. It will lead to this Ten of Pentacles. You're in good hands. You may have to make some major changes to avoid some kind of breakdown, because there could be competition. So you get with your A game this month, Leo. Get on your A game. And when it comes to love, and you will be the winner. So let's see. You have a full moon happening in your 9th house. The 9th house is the house of higher education, long distance travel, your belief system. So and then the 3rd house is the house of communication, siblings. And the 9th house is also, the moon is conjunct Chiron. So maybe you have some kind of wound around education. Maybe wound that has to do with belief systems, with spirituality. Wounds that have to do with being of a different culture. Feeling that you're not fitting in your environment. The sun in the 3rd, you're going to see the full moon always shines its light on something. It reveals something. So it's going to reveal some kind of wound that's been holding you back. But it's also going to reveal, like, information may come out, communication. You may hear from someone that you haven't talked to in a long time, maybe a relative, brother or sister, aunt, uncle, or even friends, a close friend. Uranus is in the 10th house. That's your status in the world. That's your career, your life path. So things are kind of changing. You may feel like breaking free and doing something radical. Venus is in your 1st house at this full moon, and then it's going to move into Virgo later in the month. But when it's in Leo, you are attracting love. You're looking attractive. you're feeling charming and harmonious. You know, you're just, and it's square, and it's trining Mars in the ninth. So if there's romance this month, it's going to be with someone from a different culture, a different belief system. Someone's going to challenge your beliefs through love and through romance. Now, Mars is also squaring, you have 3 planets in the 6th house. You have Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, all in the 6th house of health and the 6th house of work. So you're working really hard. You may not have time for this new romance, or there may be power struggles, because there could even be health issues that are interfering with this, you know. You've been dealing with health issues for a while now, because you've got, you know, Pluto and Saturn have been going through your 6th house. And Jupiter just has been there for the past year, but Saturn has been there for 2.5 years, Pluto since 2008. So you have to make some major changes in your belief systems, because Mars is in the 12th and the 9th house. Maybe your beliefs around your health are being challenged. You have Jupiter in the 6th, sextile Neptune in the 8th, so there could be some confusion. I mean, you're wanting, well, actually what you're wanting is financial support. You're going to get that. You're going to get the financial support, especially through a partner. But Jupiter makes you go over the top on things. Jupiter in the 6th house can increase, you know, if you have a problem there with Saturn and Pluto, Jupiter can ramp it up. So if you have any health issues, you need to take care of your health. With Saturn there, it could be a bone issue, aches and pains. With Pluto there, it could be some long-term thing that you've been dealing with for many years. You know, a chronic illness or something that's like beneath the surface, hidden. You may need to go get exploratory work done or something for them to figure out what's wrong. And especially with Neptune in the 8th house, there's confusion around your illness. Like they're not sure what's wrong with you. It could be related to drinking or drugs with the 8th house, especially with Neptune in the 8th house. There's like, that could be addictions or your shadow, delusions. You have Mercury in the 7th house. Now, Mercury in the 7th in Scorpio, and it's going to be, no, what am I saying? No, it's the 4th house. Sorry, 4th house. Mercury in the 4th house, you may have to revisit the past, family relationships, family wounds. You might even hear from someone from your family, someone that you haven't dealt with in a long time. But it's to open that can of worms, to look at those family patterns and how those patterns are running your life now in the present, and to release them. Mercury wants you to revisit the past, your childhood even. So maybe there's some issues around childhood wounds that you need to revisit that are affecting, you know, even wounds around spirituality, what you were taught to believe as a child. Then we have the new moon in Libra on October 16th, and that's in your 3rd house. So there could be a new relationship or a new beginning with siblings, because the 3rd house is siblings, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, or even like your local environment. New communication coming in. Mars is opposing in the 9th house, so you may want to travel. But there's conflict because you have work to do. You have Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto in the 6th is forming a T-square with this new moon and Mars opposition. So you want to travel, you want to get things done, you want to have this new beginning, you want to communicate. But with the 6th house energy squaring it, the tension is either you're overworked, you have too many responsibilities at work, so you can't get away, you can't devote energy to this new relationship, this new beginning. Or it could be that you're just feeling tired. You don't have the energy. There could be some health issue that's preventing you from achieving a goal. Now, at the same time, Venus is in your 2nd house. By now, Venus has moved into Virgo. And so when Venus comes in the 2nd house, it usually brings financial abundance. It brings love, it brings money, it brings you feeling better about yourself. And Venus is trining Pluto. So that could bring passion. And Venus is trining Saturn. You could be dealing with someone who's very conservative. Maybe there's an age difference. Venus with Pluto could be power struggles. Venus with Jupiter, you feel like extravagance. You could be, and in the 6th house, with all these planets in the 6th house, you could have someone, like a relationship, develop over some kind of service. Like, because the 6th house is a house of service, you could be doing some kind of social work and you meet someone, or you could be having some kind of health issue and you have this connection with someone. Let's see, what else is happening? But in any case, your money is coming in and you're feeling better about yourself. But there could be, take care of your health this month. That's all I want to say. Mercury is in the 4th house. Again, it's retrograding and it's opposing Uranus. So there could be some surprise developments around home and around your status, like work, or even your status in the world. Maybe you hear from someone that you haven't heard from in a long time and it changes your direction in life. You can't really predict with Uranus because anything could happen with Uranus. But one thing I know, with Venus in the 2nd, aspecting Pluto in the 6th, there's going to be money coming in. You're going to get financial support, probably through some work project. So success is coming. But you also have many changes to make. And you have to release some unhealthy habits or patterns. So let the full moon make them aware in your consciousness. And then the new beginning, then you start a new beginning where you take better care of yourself. And it's going to lead to abundance and security. It's going to get you out of your comfort zone. You might be even reconnecting with an old friend or an old flame. And this person may have some shocking news for you. Or there are some changes. If you feel like things are crumbling, and then all of a sudden you reconnect with someone and everything's going to be okay. You're going to be taken care of. You're going to find that partner and create that happy home. You're going to be. I feel like you're going to reconnect with someone. But you're going through a period of healing and improving your life in some way. So don't make the same mistakes you made in the past. Learn from them and do it better the second time around. So that's my forecast, Leo, for October. I'm sorry. If you like the video, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. If it resonates with you, leave a comment. I love to read all the comments. And thank you for supporting this channel. If you're new, welcome. And have a wonderful October. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid to change your beliefs if something happens that shows that they are invalid. It's okay to change and adapt to new information and new situations. So don't be rigid and don't be stubborn. Because people are there for you who care about you, who have your back. You just have to stand your ground and go after what you want. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, Leo, and I'll talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.